Salam alaikum. All my travel nurses, I am back with another small and short video. You remember I said I promised to do another video about Saudi Arabia, the people who are interested in doing travel nursing. And as I was saying in the first video, I said I'm going to come back to do another video. So I am home. As you can see, I am home. And yeah, what I have to say, sorry, I have to adjust my camera. What I have to say, I was in this place called Jeddah in Saudi Arabia. That's 1 hour, 1 hour and a half from Mecca, which is the holy land of Saudi Arabia. So when I say in the previous video, when I said that culture shock, and I was talking about the women's biggest prison, Saudi Arabia, yes, it is true. What the media say about Saudi Arabia, 99% of it is true. The other 1%, there are some advantage and disadvantage, and like any other culture. But what I must say is not, people just think that, oh gosh, women not allowed to drive. It's not just not allowed to drive. It's just a lot of other things, a lot of restriction. For example, let's just say you off and then you want to go buy a bra. Just a simple bras and underwears and bras. You go to a shop and you go pick up the bras and underwear, but you're not allowed to talk to, you can talk to the person who's selling you the bra, which is going to be a man, because why is that? And you're not allowed to have too many conversation with the guy in public if it's not your husband. So the only way you have a conversation with the man, he has to be indoor, which is, it has to be your husband. And again, and you'll find 95% of Saudi Arabian women are unemployed. Not by choice, it's by force. Because once they have so many restrictions, them not be able to allow to drive. So, and many of them just choose to stay home and taking care of the kids, which is most leaders in Saudi Arabian leaders are once they wife to stay home and taking care of their children. But and again, 90% of that people that stay home are very well educated women. And I met a lot of Saudis women with masters and bachelors and PhDs and MDs and lawyers and so forth. And then designer, the fashions over there, and they do a lot of fashions. Under the veil, they have a lot of fashion. I'm not wearing a veil. When you are in Saudi Arabia, you cannot go in public. No woman can go in public without her face, her head covered, and then dressed with the veil. And in the city of Jeddah, Mecca, Medina, most of the city, in the capital too, like that. So the same thing. You have to wear the veil. The veil is a long black robe that you see, and then with the veil on the top of your head and cover it up. A woman, that's a sign of purity. You have to cover it up. No man should allow to see any woman at all. Now, if you go to some compound and you see some people is not covered, like say Westerners compound, like if you meet people from Turkey, from Europe, America, or whatever, and their compound where they live is a little bit more flexible, but not to go in the main street within the compound. So, but if you're in the Arab compound, all the women have to have veil. The only way women cannot even inside the house, the only way the woman in veil is for her husband, her brother, mother, father, or her children. Brother-in-law from the husband family, she's not allowed to be unveiled. She has to be veiled. If a male person come inside a house, and a male always visiting sometime, because they're very close-knit family. So when you have a compound, you usually have the husband and the wife that lives there, and then you have the mother-in-laws from the men's side or from the lady's side that lives at the bottom, and then you have the brother and all of that. But what they will do, so they'll always make like a back entrance where they don't have to go in the main street if they choose to be unveiled within the house. But you have to be veiled even inside the house. Let's say you go to the shopping mall, like US, when you go to a shopping mall and you could just buy a clothes and you try it on. It's not like that over there. If you go to a shopping mall and then you find something that is very cheap, is a bargain, you have to physically buy it, and then you have to go to a place where you can allow you to change it. They have a changing station for women where women go separate from the mall to go changing. And those are the things in Saudi Arabia. And then whatever the government building, whether if it's a banks or businesses, it closes 5 times a day for prayer. So each of the time doing the time in the prayer. And the prayer time doesn't go the same time all the time. The prayer time depends on the sun, how the sun's rise and fall in the area where the sun is facing. That's how you're able to the prayer time. And the prayer time, you're gonna hear a bell ring. It's gonna be a time you announce it is a prayer time. There'll be that time. So, and when you in the street, you're not allowed to speak with any male at all. Not in the open. You cannot. You can't. Westerners, we're like, hello, how are you? But no, you cannot do that. You have to look with straight face. You don't talk to any male at all in public. That's just against the law. You can do it against the Quran, against the Muslim law as well. And the next thing, Saudi Arabia, what do they do for fun? What do you do for fun if you go? If you choose to go have fun, the type of fun that you have, I don't know if you will call it, if you're a club person, that's not for you. If you're a person that who like to go get drunk, but anyway, there's no place to go get drunk. There's no bars, no nightclub, no strip club. There's no music allowed to play in Saudi Arabia. You can't listen to any music at all. The word, anything with music, it doesn't allow. So even if you watch TV, the TVs are already, any children's shows, any regular shows, no music. The only way you go to a place where you go have fun, if it's like a Western compound, like a people in Western compound, and you go have fun. When you go have fun, it's not a bar you go drinking or anything like that. It's pretty much like a gathering together, like a social event. Like you meet somebody and you're talking to them, and it usually be again about what? About work. It usually be. It's just about, that's what it be about, work. And you leave work and you talk about work, and about schooling. The education is very important. So you talk about school. Most of those people, when I say most of those people, I'm talking about most of the Arab people are female. And you have more female educated than male. Yes, fortunately, and you have them less privileges. Like, for example, there are some churches women cannot go, which is some mosques where you go only pray, and some of the places that women cannot enter is only the male have to enter. Say, for example, you at home and you eating at home with family members. The family members or the male have to be sitting separate. The only family member you can sit along with, it has to be your husband. Anything other than that, if it's like other people coming enjoying and like you're having a gathering together, the male then has to be separate on a separate room and a separate dining room table. So when you get to any type of kingdom you enter, it has to be, that's why their houses big. The compounds are usually be big because everything is separate. There's a separate washer for men. There's a separate washer for women. And a very, very, very clean people. I must say, very, very, one of the cleanest people that I actually met. They're very clean people. And one of the things that I wanted to touch up on, again, when people said, what do you do for fun over there? And again, socialize. Social with people who live in your same compound as you. The people who you like networking, like online, if you talk to them, anything other than that, that's not that much of any socialize. The only things they do have they have a lot of malls and a lot of malls. You can shop a lot if you have money, if you can afford it, of course, you can shop. But that's just pretty much, that's all you can do. And then the female, yes, you cannot drive, yes. The woman allowed to drive only in the desert. which make no sense, because what would you, well, anyway, that's another thing. The most of the hospital that we work for, we can't even talk about that. We can't talk about the hospital. We're not allowed to mention that, or any type of social media, nothing like that. So when you do get a contract, and if you choose to do any type of blog video, just watch other bloggers, what they say first. You'll see what happened in Saudi, stay in Saudi. So watch other bloggers, things that you cannot do, so you will know those things you cannot do. And it's not just only patient confidentiality. Everything's confidentiality. The whole system, the whole notion of women prison. So we are there who from the West, there always things we more open, which is, we live in a society is very open. But it's not like that there. It's not just only women not allowed to drive. It's a lot of other things. Not allowed, not allowed, not allowed, not allowed, not allowed, not allowed. It's almost like so much don't then do's. So much what you cannot do is very restricted. You can have, you can think as if, but one thing I must say though, there is though no racism. You can be dark as a charcoals, or you could from any other places in planet. Arab people, there is no racism. In fact, there is a law against racists. The only racist people you're gonna find is the American people, the white American people who came from America, who go over there and they brought that with them. But unfortunately, you cannot take a racist out of a person. So whatever they go, their behavior gonna follow them wherever they go, even though they'll get in their land where it's absolutely there's a law for that against racism. So the Arab view everyone as a person is equal. He's our own mind, what he can't do and stuff like that. But there's a big restriction on what women can do. The woman, it's not like the woman doesn't have a voice. The woman do have a voice, but her voice, this is what they say. The woman's voice should be in her home with her children in the home. So, I don't know. You picture that and you figure it out. I am not saying that just to say anything against the Arab. No, it's not that. It's just I'm speaking the truth, and the truth is you have to tell the truth. You have to tell what's that. It's a beautiful country, and it's also a desert, And Jeddah is close to the Red Sea, close to Mecca, like an hour away from Mecca, hour and a half away from Mecca, which is the Holy Land. And if you go visit Mecca, that's just the Holy Land. That's another type of thing. You go places and you see people eat with their hand, and when you see people eat with their hand, they eat with the right hand, the left hand. Why they don't eat with that? You're not even supposed to have it on the table while you're eating. The left hand's supposed to be hanging, because the left hand, that's a hand you use to wipe. You know what? So that one wash. And then the right hand, that's what you're doing all your eating with it. So that's the reason why you see one hand usually be off the mat or off the table, off the ground, off whatever it is. The food you may like and you may not like, but after like maybe a week or so, you get used to it. What else you're gonna do? You will eat it. And then the money is SAR. So when US dollars, you get like 3 SAR. A little change, but forget about the little change. And what else? If a woman got caught doing something so terrible in public, like talking to a man and leave their head unveiled, you can even get punished by lashes, like stuff like that. So I can't think of anything else to say. The hospitals are beautiful. They wash your uniform for you there. Your uniform get laundry there at the hospital. Your uniform get cleaned up at the hospital. And then you pick up your uniform. You don't have to do any of that. And if you get ready to go to work, all you got to do, call your driver, the driver come pick you up. However, many Arab women feels sometimes they be late because of the drivers. They have to wait on somebody to pick them up. I hope one day they have a laws where the people can drive. But one of the reasons why they say that women can drive, I was talking to one of the reasons why they say, well, of course, indoor, which is at work, you have to be talking to a male indoor, not outside in public, because it's against the law. It's not allowed unless that's your husband. So the only reason, one of the reasons why the woman not allowed to drive, because they feel like if the woman able to drive, she would have more privilege to be driving everywhere she wants. She will go to many places, and that's more chances, more men. She be exposed to more men, and more men will be able to see her. So that's just not gonna happen. There's no movie theaters. There's no cinema. They used to have like one gym, and the government and the people who read the Quran, they like not the pastor, they are imam. They have a group of people who say they don't want the gym because they feel like women have to expose their body at the gym, so it was just too much. They could not handle that. So there's no gym, no movie theaters, stuff like that. But there's a lot of restaurants. There's a lot of beautiful malls, things like that, and they are very friendly. Very friendly. When you go places, if you decided to go, there's places only for women. There's places when they do have like a fashion show. If you attend local fashion show, it'd be only for women there. So the fashion show, that's what you see, is only for women. If there's a wedding ceremony, after the ceremony where the brides is, where everybody's eating, there's only for women. So this time they can take their veil, so they could just, whatever the clothes they have under is a beautiful clothes. No men allowed to enter there. So that's just the way it is. And far as the travel nursing, and it is great, is what you make out of it. You can make what you make out of any situation, and it's not bad. You have your own, you're not far from the compound, like from the hospital, whatever compound you may be in. If it's a Western compound, which is, you'll be good. You'll be feeling a lot more like home because, people speak English. And not only that, you'll be able to mingle with some people that, eventually you might end up have a friend or two or whatever. But, that's all for now. So I will update you guys with part 3 coming up as time goes on, and I will let you know what's going on, what's what, and then things that I can say, I will share with you. Things that I cannot say, I will not say it on camera, YouTube. My email is I will leave my email. Well, my email is down there. If you have any questions for me, anything you want me to talk about, anything you wanted to see, just let me know. So I will leave my email. My email is down there, so you could just email me, and I will respond back to your email. All right, my YouTuber deuces. Bye. Holla back. Holla back.